Good morning, traders. This is Ed Carter with the Trader Vision 2020 Featured Trade Idea Performance Update for Friday, July 19th, 2018. Let's get her open here. I'm just going to go over let's look at the account position first. As you can see, we're up about 31.25 and change from the start of this blog adventure here. Current open positions, we have 3, and of those we have one loser, 10, or a fresh pet is down 1%, and we have 2 winners. Boot is up 3 3/4%, Tandem up 7 1/3%. Overall, we're up about 3.35% on average, for a total of unrealized profit, open profit loss of $315.50. Interestingly, if you look at the performance, it's been a rough last few weeks, but over the last, it's only been about 45 days actually, we've had 20 trades that have opened and closed. Of those, we've only had 45% winners. That's not good at all. Yet we're still positive $3,100, which is not too bad, and we're averaging a little under 4% per trade in gain. And over the same period of time as those 20 trades, not the calendar days, but the period of time those 20 trades were open, the overall market, the SPY, was down by 0.14%. So we're actually, let's just call it 4%. We're exceeding the market by just under 4%. So not great, but could be worse. And we hope to get things turned around here once the market picks a direction and actually breaks out and stays bullish instead of this waffling. The trades that we have opened and closed, let's take a look at those. Let's do them in order. Let's look at NIHD first. NIHD, let me pull this down, was a trade that was entered back here on this day. I guess it was the 19th. Or no, hold it, what is that? The 5th, I'm sorry, the 5th of July. So right coming back off of the holiday. And it had a very nice breakout day that we entered on the bounce up off our price, and or just below our price and bounce up. But then it melted back by the end of the day. Did sort of the same thing the next day. That should have made me leery. I hate upper wicks. Big bearish engulfing signal. That should have been my clue to get out with a very, very minor profit on that day. When I didn't do that, I got burned. I stayed with the trade and hoped that it would turn around off of the trend line. It did not, and eventually here a couple days ago got taken out. There was our stop on this very bad day. So that was a mistake on NIHD, and in fact I should I'll give it a 3, and let's see. Failed to heed signal is the mistake that I made. I'm going to leave the emotions alone for now. Make a note that I large bearish engulf, so when I come back to analyze this later, I'll know what's going on. In fact, I might as well attach a chart image to this thing. Well, let's do it this way. That's good enough. NIHD 71918. And then if we go back here, we can attach that file. Yeah, okay. So now we've got that saved from when I come back to analyze this. I can see the image, see the chart, see my notes, see all the prices and the mistakes that I made. Let's look at the next closed position here. I guess was TCP within the last week, so let's look at that one next. That one was a case possibly of better to be lucky than good sometimes, but I am happy that I did follow my discipline. So this was a position that was recommended back on this day. I did not chase the gap up. You can see there's the $27 price that we wanted. I did not chase the gap up, and then once it ran up away from that opening price, I did not chase the falling knife as it came down. The next day, the knife continued to fall. I did not chase that, and I waited. Price did bounce up off the support level we had identified, and came back up, and I entered on this day, which would have been the 17th, and I entered at the planned entry price and got follow through the next day. Apparently there was some pipeline regulatory news that that was just awesome for us. We had a gap up that took out that first target. In fact, it opened up here, and I got a price well above what I had hoped for on that first target, so I was filled at a higher profit. And then it immediately ran right on up through the second target and closed the trade. In fact, that happened so fast, it happened before I could, oops, that was right trade, before I could even move the stop. So the planned first target was 30.75, ended up getting 32.50 on the fill, and just 5 minutes later took out that second target. In the meantime, I was starting to change the stop level, but I didn't even get the order placed, so that didn't even happen. So that was a beautiful trade for us. Really happy with it, and sometimes it's good to be lucky. Actually, let's put some notes on that. So I'm really happy with the discipline. Normal. I guess that was about normal during the trade. And at exit, I was kind of elated. Just because we got the break. There was no actual reaction that I could make to that emotion. It just happened. Okay, so let's undo that one. What else have we got? Anything else that closed? I don't think so. So let's look at the open positions. Tandem. Tandem was opened back here on this day, which was 12th, about a week ago, and it opened up and ran up through our price. We got an entry. Since then, we've had generally a positive trend. Back here on, I guess that was Tuesday, it started to drift back towards the trend line, and it bounced up off the trend line, putting in a piercing candle yesterday. I have moved the stop up once. I think I moved it on this day here, and there's about 15 cents. So it's not break even, but it's within 15 cents of break even where our stop is at the moment. This was all coming off that bullish engulf of a doji there, and we're looking for that trend to continue. Last night during the workshop, somebody told me that this is reporting on the 15th. I thought it was reporting on the 26th. So I need to check my brokerage with that, but our data service is saying the last report was on 4/26, and so we have somewhere between a week and 3 weeks left in this trade, and hopefully we can get at least that first target, hopefully even that second target during that time. So that's where we sit now. You can see that I moved the stop on the 17th, and we're now sitting at an entry of 24.80, and this is actually 24.65. And we're not too far from our first target. I guess it's about 5, 6, 7% maybe. 6+%. What else do we have opened here? Fresh Pet, I think. Let's look at that. Spread this out so we can see it a little bit. Fresh Pet was entered back here. The day that we were actually, I think the day that we published it was perhaps even this day, the 16th. As a trade idea, it did not execute. It never made it up to our entry price, and has been waffling ever since. Just kissed and went up through our price yesterday, so we have an entry, but we are holding trend, and that's what we're looking for. Hopefully we can get back up above our entry and get back up into that trend, chasing towards those targets as it gets going. We see that we still have a couple weeks or so left in Fresh Pet before earnings, and so we're hoping for things to get moving here. No harm, no foul, but it did back off after entry yesterday as the market melted into the close. Boot is the other one I think we have open. And with Boot, we had an entry here yesterday coming off of that trader's best friend type signal, following trend. I'm looking for the J-hook breakout to continue. So far, we came down to our entry price and came back up. That was when we got our entry, and got a little follow through yesterday. And a little bit concerned that we bounced right off of that identified resistance level. Didn't quite make our target, but we got close, I think. We may have taken the first target. I can't remember one day to the next. Yeah, we did. About 11 o'clock yesterday, we did take that first target, so we have half the trade off, but we backed off since then. Hopefully we get some follow through and get up to that second target. I don't think we're ready to move the stop quite yet. V-stop still says 23.37. Yeah, V-stop says I could move it up a few cents, but it's really hardly worth the effort, so I'm not going to do it for a few cents. So I could move it up a dime. So that was Boot. MDCA was yesterday's trade idea. It did not execute. Same with some of the others. Let's just look at Manitowoc from a while back. I guess this was the day, and you say, well, why didn't you enter? The price went up through that price. Because I stuck to my trading rules. It gapped up above my price and then fell back, ran on up and then fell back down through. I didn't chase the entry. I didn't catch a falling knife as it fell back down through, and I'm very glad that I didn't. I would have actually been stopped out later in the afternoon had I either chased or bought when it fell back through there. So I'm glad I didn't, and I'm really glad I didn't when I saw that the next morning it opened up gapping down here. I'm not sure if there was news or what, but it gapped down below the 50, making it no longer an RBB. It's trying to climb back, but I was no longer interested once it went below the 50. I will reevaluate it, but there's no strong reason to believe that I will enter at this price at all. I would have to see a breakout here because this is held again. It's proven that this is the resistance level here, and so I would have to replan the trade and look for it up here above this breakout level. So we'll see what happens on that, but at this point I'm not interested in it. And again, we see we had no entry. I should probably put a note on this. And then the last one we'll look at here was yesterday's MDCA. It too did not execute. We got a little run earlier in the day, but it faded back. So it's trying, but it has not quite gotten it done yet. That's why I required a breakout to prove that this has got the bulls in charge, and that's why I'll look at an entry here today. We'll see what it does. I'm not real used to entering trades on a Friday, but if I got good price action on that breakout of that J hook, I would consider it. So I will probably enter this if we do get a nice breakout on a strong move, particularly if the markets are overall cooperating. So I guess that's what I wanted to cover today. That's all of our open and unexecuted positions in the last week or so. And I hope that helps you understand where we're at. And the good news is, yes, we've had a bad couple of weeks. We've had some losers. In fact, we're only winning less than half of our trades off of these 20 trades that I've put out there. One per day taking Fridays off. But we're still up, 3,100 plus bucks over that 45 days. So that's not terrible, and it can be done. You just need to stick to your rules and trade smart. You need to have a good trade plan and stick to those plans and know what the consequences are ahead of time. Work towards your goals. I thank you for your time this morning, and I hope you have a great Friday and great weekend. We'll talk to you again Monday. Hope to see you in the trading room.